Buongiorno! Let's go to Piazza Armerina in Villa Romana del Casale, one of the best mosaic collections in all of Italy. In this one villa at a very remote location, there are 41 rooms and one family live there. It's incredible.
Eye-popping is what it is. You add in Villa Romana Casale in Casale along with a quick trip to Enna to see Enna and
the outlet mall.
The outlet mall, and you have a great start in that area. One whole day's excursion right there for you.
But pay particular attention to the details of the mosaics and the storytelling, because that's where the magic lies.
It's just unbelievable.
The villa is actually just outside Piazza Armerina. Beautiful city here in the province of Enna. Can you imagine? This was built 300 AD, and it's always just so fascinating to me that here we are many centuries later, and we can still experience and view this beautiful villa. This structure, as you walk in, the three columns that you see over here acted like a furnace. And so what happened was the slaves would take wood and heat that up. And inside there was water. So it heated up the water. It was sort of a modern day jacuzzi. And also there was steam. So you could say the sauna was invented by the Romans, or maybe others had something similar. But right here is definitely evidence that the Roman people liked to bathe in warm water. Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at a Roman bathroom. And yes, as you can see, there's no privacy. Men and women sat around here and went to the bathroom and talked. Imagine that today. And this was the room between the sauna and the jacuzzi, just a place to sit, relax, and maybe change. They knew how to live back then, huh? As you enter the villa, this is the first mosaic that you see. Sort of the passageway between the rooms and the baths. And that little area is dedicated to Venus, goddess of love. And here's the first mosaic that you see depicting Circus Maximus. You can follow the battles along. It's fascinating to consider that there were 42 rooms in this villa, 8 bedrooms, and of course spaces for the slaves. So it was a considerable place to live for one family. This was a bedroom for one of the family members, and we know this because they all had windows. The rooms for the slaves did not have any windows, and they were lit by oil lamps. When you look at the detail and the storytelling into this, it's really something to behold. Each one of the scenes in all of the mosaics here depict a story. So it goes from one scene to another, to another, to another. Could be called a book, a movie. Very interesting, ancient ingenuity. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorites, the bikini girls.
So the story goes ahead, one in front of the other.
What's fascinating about this is this depicts women during the Roman times playing sports and competing. The laurels on top of the women down below depict whoever wins. Had different leaves, different number of leaves. Do you know who else used this as an inspiration? Dior, in their last fashion show in France, used the bikini girls as an inspiration.
This is one of the most famous rooms ever. It's called the Hall of the Small Hunt because it depicts 12 hunting games, and it's possible to read them, just like as if it was a book. Basically, we have a graphic novel in front of our eyes.
This is probably the most famous area in the entire villa, the Great Hunt. depicting all types of hunting scenes using animals from all over the Roman Empire.
Two ostriches on the left and the one antelope. It's interesting to notice the techniques that they used.
Now, who were the people who did these mosaics? Archaeologists think that these villas, the artists who did these mosaics, actually came from North Africa. They were not slaves, they were actually artists who were hired and paid money to create these mosaics. And when you have mosaics, obviously it shows a great amount of wealth, a great amount of culture, and that was indeed the intent of putting these mosaics all over the villa. And this was the basilica, not used for religious purposes during the Roman times, obviously, but used as a place for people to gather and discuss things. And this is what they imagine the basilica looked like in ancient times. This is what a dining room looked like back then for the official guests, and everyone else was over here?
Yeah. So here you see the first of the dining room, probably a library for the family or a dining room only for the family. What we know for sure is that the mosaic is really one of the best. You see Orion in the center. He was one of the sons of god Neptune. He was playing the lyre, and with the sound of his music, just like Orpheus, he was enchanting all the creatures of the sea. You see all the nymphs here listening to his music, dancing. You also see the tritons, the cupid. You see that we have the best room ever because it was not damaged. So it's still intact in every corner. This was probably the alcove or the master bedroom. Inside
and here's the one-eyed Cyclops in the Odyssey. And so in this room, the main bedroom for the mother and father, depicting love. And in this room with Ulysses and his intelligence of giving the one-eyed Cyclops a little vino, we have depiction of intelligence. Can you imagine being an archaeologist and discovering this stuff? Oh my gosh. One of the greatest mosaics in all of the world, really. Fascinating is that you can be walking right on top of the original mosaics, or the remains of the mosaics, and you can see close up the intricate work that went into this. It's fascinating. In this room, you can see a lot of female symbolisms, probably the mother's room or dining room or kitchen, and the fig, of course, in the middle, the symbol of fertility.
It's amazing that we have the windows here. So this was a room with a great source of light, and it's possible that this was the dining room for the children. You see that there are only children on this floor, especially the little boys. You see the musical band, the little actors in the middle, and the little girls in the niche picking up flowers and creating roses, crowns all together.
And this was the banqueting hall where they had big parties. If you can see down below at the feet of these men and women, you can see sort of a shadow. And the artist discovered that if you put a shadow down below, it could be a little bit like the mosaics the people were alive. So it was sort of like the first 3D try here. And where did these rocks come from? Where did these marbles, mosaics come from? They were actually marbles from northern Italy. There were shells and all types of rocks from all over the Roman Empire.
So this was the niche with the defeat of the giants. They were defeated by Hercules, and you see that they are removing the herons from their bodies. In the center, you see the trials and labors of Hercules with the big Nemean lion in the middle.
As you look down here, you see all types of animal heads. Bears, lions, all types of things. These were the animals that were around in the different countries in the Roman Empire. This is the Roman aqueduct that was built and run all over the city. And it's a great location because there was water coming down from the mountains and bringing much needed water to the people who lived in the villa. And also there was a river. And here we have another back of the house. You guys know what that is? Back of the house, another toilet.
So here we have the five together, and with the mosaic on the floor and the frescoes, what remains of the frescoes on the walls, and the aqueduct on the right.
The villa is quite big. And if you come here with a guide, it takes about 2 hours to fully get a sense of what you're seeing. Here's Marta, our official guide here in Piazza Armerina and Villa Romana. One of the most fascinating places really in Sicily, to think that the ancient Romans lived in such opulency, but everything is so symbolic in there.
Absolutely. I mean, the villa, I always say that being inside the villa is like looking ourselves in a mirror. So it's like if we see who we were. So it's fascinating, and at the same time it's breathtaking because we're talking about, mosaics with more than 1,700 years, so it's amazing.
Now, some of the rooms, so what are some of the most important rooms?
Well, some of the most important rooms are surely the famous Bikini Girls room, which has actually inspired also Dior recently, with the new fashion show. But also, it's amazing also to see the big hunt corridor with hundreds, of many beautiful scenes, dozens of scenes connected to the hunting games, and of course the many animal heads all over. So it's fascinating.
Slaves built this in sometimes harsh conditions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Slaves from North Africa.
Well, slaves were working inside the villa, of course, for the big family. Yeah, the artists were working, inside, and they probably created, all these mosaics, creating a huge fantasy of mythological scenes, connected also with realistic scenes. So this is the most incredible.
And one family lived here.
One family lived here for, 3 generations. So, and probably they worked into the villa for 100 years to create the entire, building.
Do we know who was the master?
The master, unfortunately, we don't know his name. But we know probably that he was a very wealthy man, probably a politician, who was living here in Sicily.
Okay. Fascinating. Grazie mille.
Grazie. Ciao.
I have to say, my favorite part, hands down, are the bikini girls. Because, they're called bikini girls, but I don't know where that name came from. They're not actual bikinis. Those are exercise clothes and competition clothes. And to think about it, that in the Roman times, in the years 300 and so forth, women were exercising and competing is very significant. The second thing that I want to highlight is that villa was built by slaves. And yes, there were slaves during that period. They came from North Africa and also some Sicilians. It was a tough life, but look at the results, the beautiful villas that were built.
Wes, so what I liked was, did you see the scene where the relaxation room where they were drinking beers? And the Roman guy said to the bartender, "Give me 5 beers, please."
I thought the joke was, how many beers is that?
No, that's not. Give me 5 beers, Esther. Get it? 5 Roman. I forget.
I get it. It's funny. Anyway.
It's a great joke.
So listen, the great thing about going out there, you spend a couple of hours and then you come back. If you come back to the Catania area, go to the outlet mall. Or, as Alfred said, go to the city of Enna. A great day. Very historically important. And one of the finest collections in all of Italy, in my opinion.
I like to call them pre-Lego mosaics. Okay, these things look like Legos, except they're 2 millennia old.
No, I like the idea that they were the first ones depicting a story. So it's almost like a movie because you go from one scene
Yeah,
to
you do.
another. And the imagination had by those Romans was incredible. And by the way, that was the preferred way for Romans to build villas and other things. They loved mosaics. They built them on the floor, on the ceilings, everywhere. Mosaics was their way of showing off their wealth.
Well, anyways, that was a great thing. If you like this little vignette that we did of she said it takes a couple hours to go through it, but if in 10 minutes or 12 minutes, we have to give you the essence, so to speak. But if you like it, will you do me a favor and hit the like button, okay? I think it'll be important so more people, the more you hit the like button, the more it gets shared, I guess, is whatever it's called. So that's what I want to say. Look.
All right, now we're gonna go to Golf Place to try some pizza Saturday night. This is what our Saturday night looks like.
Wait a minute, I thought we were going to that Chinese Egyptian restaurant. Say, what's the name? What restaurant?
What are you talking?
Walk like an Egyptian.
Let's go. This is how you start out the evening, with a Campari spritz, little light music, and an empty restaurant because we're first. We like to come early. Early birds. What do you think?
I don't know, I have to taste it.
But wait a sec, look at my salad. Con salmone affumigato, smoked salmon. Big salad. That's
good.
my type of...
Here's the difference between me and Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports, who does the pizza things, okay? I'm in Sicily, he's in the United States, going around to all these schleppy places. I'm eating the real stuff, Dave. Now, anytime you want to come here, you have an open invite. I'll show you around. This pizza is made in a wood-fired oven. It's the basic margarita. Ben cooked it. Well done. Very nicely tasted. Everybody knows the rule. One bite.
And then you fold it. Here we go, the grade.
This is a legitimate 8.2 out of 10 on the 10 scale.
Okay. Well, what would make it a 10? What would make it a 10?
The sauce is great. The presentation is great. The dough is great.
The drinks are great.
The company is great. What else could I ask for? Seriously, this is part of the whole ambiance of having a pizza. And behind us, right over there, is Esther, as Esther showed you.
Esther.
I mean, is Etna, as Esther showed you. And I'm drinking Campari spritzes tonight, so who cares?
Is at the putting green, soon-to-be golf course, not far from our house, enjoying an apple spritz, a beautiful salad. But the best part about all of this is that you can also have a granita here, a sandwich. It's really close to the hotel. For sure, we're coming here with our groups. And this is what we came home to. The majestic full moon of today. What a great night. Our 2024 tours, we still have Tuscany in September, and we have our October tour on the East Coast. There's still spots open on both of those. And then our 2025 tours are up on www.youmeandsicily.com. Our May Grand Tour of the East Coast is still open. Our June tour on the West Coast is almost all filled up. There's only about 2 spots for 2 couples available. And then we have our late June, early July tour on the East Coast, and then we have our October East Coast, so lots of fun things. And then I'm working on a secret September tour.
One thing I want to say to you folks, put your thinking caps on. If there's something specific you'd like to see, or if there is a specific topic that you would like us to research and talk about, like we did with Professor Rosario Faraci on the piece that we did about Etna and desalinization.
And the drought.
Shoot us an email. We would be happy to talk about things that are of interest to you.
Well put.
Not bad, huh?
On that point. Oh, I do have one more thing to say. Someone very important in our community, one of our oldest friends and fans, James Ingram, who you may have seen around here in Sicily and also on the comments. His mom passed away, and we send our condolences. But the reason I'm mentioning is because I want to thank you. Yes, you, our community here on YouTube, our community on Facebook. He told us that there's been an immense outpouring and support from you guys, our Yumi and Sicily family. And I want to thank you because that means so much to us. You may have met him or never met him, but he said there were countless messages, emails, flowers, and so forth. So thank you. Thank you. Truly, this is a community that has become more than just YouTube. It's also reaching out to our friends. Thank you.
Not only that, Esther, but I believe this the same project received some in memoriam donations in the name of his mom. So, but Jim knows how fond we are of him. We consider him to be part of our family, obviously.
Yeah.
He's been here enough. He never picks up after himself. That's why I'm saying that. No, I'm only kidding. But we miss Jim. We hope to see him very quickly.
Yeah, and he did write me a long, long thank you, but I thought I abbreviated and just say thank you.
No,
On
Jimmy's
that
great.
note, thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of our community. And we'll see you, of course, on another video of Yumi and Sicily. And love you guys. Ciao.
Ciao.